Alright, this is the last step before we're about to turn this thing on. Well, we gotta fill it with water for the liquid cooling, but we're about to put in the video card. But we're just gonna go ahead and open it up, see what's in the box, and then tell you a little bit about it. There we go. I mean, you know, it's pretty much whatever you what you need to plug
warranty
in.
information, instruction manual, some accessories, driver disc, accessories, VGA to DVI adapter.
And remember, we got two HDMI to DVI connectors because of the back. Basically, go ahead and open it real quick. There we go. It's not too big of a video card. You know, again, it's only 2 gigs. It's 256 bits. It's gonna fit fine into the case. There are some video cards that are like 15 inches.
Look, this one had 2 also.
Yeah. There are some cards that are 15 inches long, but this is going to be perfect. But anyways, we're going to put it in, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it once it's running. This is an overclock card, stock, and it's meant for overclocking. From some research online, I believe you can overclock this card about 10 to 15% more. So this is the card itself. We already put it into the motherboard. It's installed. Let's see if you can see the bottom of it. I'm not really sure. You got the fan. Probably kind of hard to see, but let me show you the box. This is basically the way it looks. When you take it out, that's the bottom of it. It's got a fan already pre-installed on it. It's got 2 DVI outputs on the back and a mini HDMI input as well. So you could technically plug in 3 monitors into this. And it's also SLI ready, so you can pair this up with another card just like this. But on this motherboard, the SR2 that we're using, you can actually pair up 4 cards together, but I don't think you could pair 4 of these together. And maybe somebody can leave a comment, let us know if that is possible, if anybody has tried it. It's a PCI Express slot, 16 speed, so it definitely requires one of those. Those are the red ones, if you can see that. So it looks just like that. So you need one of those to put it in. You know, it's got, the core clock is 822 megahertz. So again, it does come overclocked as opposed to the stock speed for the GTX 560. The memory clock is 4000 megahertz. The shared clock is 1645 megahertz. It has 384 cores. Now you can get cards that have like 448, I believe, you know, different amount of cores, which could be beneficial for like heavy audio editing software and stuff like that. Again, we already mentioned the bus type is a PCI Express 2.0, 16 speed. It has 2 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory, and the memory bit width is 256 bits. Some of the key features, of course, include the NVIDIA technologies. It's got the Physics X technology, the Pure Video HD technology. We already mentioned the 2-way SLI ready technology, 3D vision support, and so forth. I'm not going to get too much into that. You can read the specs online. But I do want to point out some useful things on this, or useful information that you need to know about cards when you purchase them. So, for example, the bits on the video card do matter, memory bandwidth, and basically the way you want to think of them is the more bits you have, it's like more lanes or more paths to the memory to be accessed. So there are cards out there that have 384 bits. There are even cards out there that have 768, some of the $900 EVGA cards or the Quadro cards for video editing. So, you know, the more memory bandwidth that you have, the faster some processing is going to occur. But also, you know, it's important to distinguish if you're a gamer or if you're going to be using this for any type of video editing or things like AutoCAD that require any type of like rendering. So that is going to be important to note. So sometimes more memory doesn't mean that it's going to be a better performing card. You can have a configuration like 320-bit memory interface with only 1.5 gigs of memory, and it may perform better in some situations in a lot of video editing programs than a 2 gigabyte 256-bit configuration like this one that I have here. I'm not a gamer. I purchased mine mainly for After Effects, CS 5.5, and some other video editing software. I may not have made the right choice for this per se, but so far it's been performing much faster than what I was used to before. But the one thing that I don't like is that so far, looking at the settings of this card, it's not compatible with or it doesn't have support for Adobe After Effects CS 5.5. Only has support for CS4. So hopefully they'll make an update. I want to mention the difference between your regular video cards and the workstation cards that are usually triple the price, but looking at the different settings you may be confused as to why it's so expensive. So basically some of the major differences about the workstation cards are that the workstation cards may come with with slightly different drivers that are designed for video editing softwares and whatnot, and they offer better support. Sometimes the maker themselves can modify the drivers for you for your particular configuration on the workstation, which could be very useful. Another major thing about the workstation cards is the support. That's really what you're paying for mainly. But it makes sense if you have a video editing studio or you're working on a large project with a couple $100,000 budget on it. If one of these things goes down or you can't continue doing video editing, you need to get one replaced or fixed right away, and the support needs to be the best class support you can possibly think of. So that's really the major thing you're paying for. But again, in terms of the specs on these cards, they're very similar. Technology is similar, except the ones for the workstation setups are probably tested more thoroughly, and are more stable, I guess you can say, especially for video editing. So that's the major difference. I have not overclocked this yet, but I plan to. I haven't run any tests on the computer itself yet with this card. I'm leaving it stock. The last thing I want to mention is that it says that this card requires at least a 500 watt power supply. There we go, we got a 1,000 watt power supply, so we're good to go. But just so you know, when they say it requires a 500 watt power supply, doesn't mean it's going to draw 500 watts. This card, when it's performing at its normal speed, stock the way it is without any heavy overclocking, it's probably going to draw around 170 watts of power, and I would estimate that the max it could draw is maybe 250 watts, probably 225 if you're overclocking heavily. So keep that in mind, but when they say it requires a 500 watt power supply, they are saying that because obviously the rest of your computer parts need power as well, your motherboard, CPU, and other components of the computer. So keep that in mind. Hope you enjoy this video, got some information out of it, and we're going to move on to reviewing other parts of this rig. And check out the last video where we kind of summarize the whole build, show you this thing running, and some of other information. Thanks for watching, guys.